All right.
Hello, and Lucy's here too. And welcome to the series, Where Are They Now? Where I interview past clients who have worked with me. And I am here, yes, with my personal assistant, Lucy, wanted to be part of this today. And I'm here with this amazing high achiever, inspiring woman, Sarah Jo. Sarah Jo, hello, and thanks for being here.
Hi, it's so good to chat again. Yes.
So, Sarah Jo, we went through a lot together, and maybe we were together for about a year and a half.
hmm
Um,
Yeah.
and you kind of graduated, so to speak, about a year and a half ago.
Right. About
Yeah.
this. Yeah. We started working in the fall when we first started working. So we're kind of coming full circle here.
Full circle. So this is really about like helping people to kind of understand like what made you come to work with me in the first place and how it's impacted your life overall, because there might be people out there that are considering a coaching program or just maybe unaware of how to solve some of the challenges in life. So can you talk for a minute about what life was like before
Mm.
working together?
Yeah, it's interesting to look back at what life was like. I think at the time that I came to, I didn't have a choice not to. I was very much, as you might recall, coaching. Why would anyone get a coach? You just work harder, you do better, get it done. Like this was so foreign to me. And we had been introduced through the yoga community. And the biggest thing for me was that you had a holistic approach of looking at business, right? I needed to have the business, but I needed more than that. And that's where I sought you out. And I think I started avoiding places of quiet. I stopped going to yoga. I stopped getting on my yoga mat because I just kept going and going and going. And then I don't mind being vulnerable, which is something I would never have done before. But I was in the bath and I just hit like a rock bottom where I just knew this was not the life I wanted for myself. From the outside, I was very successful. I was supporting a family of five. I had newborn twins. Their father was a stay-at-home dad, wonderful partner, but I was wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor. I mean, that was my claim to fame. I'm exhausted. I'm running ragged, but yay, because this is what success looks like. And it hit me in moments of silence that that was not success for me.
So you were mainly supporting the family of five, 3 kids, you and your partner, and working so hard to get ahead, but looking really successful on the outside. Like, I've got it together. Look at everything's great. We're making money. We're doing all these things. But the inside, like, what is life really about?
Right.
We're in the bathtub and you just had that moment.
Yeah. And I talked to you the next day and I found out very quickly you were not going to keep me on a surface, easy, how's the weather type of relationship. And it was hard to let you in and the trust, but I very quickly understood where the care and the probing came from. I would want to give you answers like, because, you'd go into the why and I just wanted to shut down because that's just the way it is. But I really had to get through some of that to make everything in my life better, every aspect of my life.
Were there any, staying with that time for a minute and then we'll move forward, but were there any kind of specific problems that you were facing? Because maybe there's people watching this that they might have some similar problems.
Right. I was not communicating effectively. I wanted everybody to come around to figure out what I needed and wanted from them.
But you didn't know that at the time, right?
Right.
So
and I didn't.
That's what we uncovered. But what did problems feel like in that moment? You said you felt exhausted, like, yeah, before you realized how we could help them.
Exhausted, escaping things, not being present at home. I mean, I would call ahead to come home and say, to my partner, can you have the laptop plugged in? Because when I get home, I'm just going to go right downstairs. I have a lower level where my office is. And I'm just going to get on the computer because I didn't want to have to be at home yet. I had to stay in that work mindset. I mean, missing out on family things. The relationship with my business partner suffered because I wasn't communicating. I was shutting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so you really didn't know what was going on, except that there was problems with your business partner. There
Mhm.
were there problems at home?
Yeah, problems at home, stagnant, not, on the same page of what we wanted in life, or a lot of resentment, even though we had planned for certain roles, right? A lot of resentment, and now knowing, but not knowing then, it was just a lack of communication and being direct and clear in communication and being vulnerable enough to say, hey, this is what I need and this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah. So then when you move forward, like you were starting to explain some of that, like
Yeah.
how, like, well, let's just start with this. What made you say yes when you did?
Say what made me say yes to coaching.
Did you, like, you were having all of you were having problems at home, you were having problems in the workplace. I mean, it wasn't like problems at home. It was like, it was kind of stagnant, not really where you wanted it to be. And it was, but you felt misunderstood by other people. You felt misunderstood by your business partner, by your partner at home. And you didn't have time for yourself, but you thought that was the way life was supposed to be because you were working hard and this is just how it works. So, what made you, like, it's a really courageous, like, it's amazing that you actually took a step forward to
Sure.
trust a coach and say yes. So what made you say,
Um, you know, I really feel like I had tried so many other ways of escaping and it wasn't fixing anything. And it wasn't true to myself anymore. I mean, I wasn't doing the things that I was doing. I wasn't caring about my nutrition. I wasn't caring about my physical health. I wasn't going to those places of really looking at the picture that was there. And I just knew something had to change, but I didn't know what it was. And I had tried other things. But, really the draw for this particular style of coaching was I know I've said it before, was the immersion of the holistic approach, because I knew that you came from a background in yoga. I knew you came from a background as a businesswoman, and that just it clicked for me in a way that it hadn't before from other offerings.
awesome. What we, I think it is different because we really do try to provide both.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, as you know, I don't believe in success as like just being a business coach and making a ton of money if you're not happy.
Right.
So it really
Right.
has, like, we look at everything. But then if you're just like, oh, I don't, want to care about business, like, then you can lose touch with your purpose and not have that confidence and the financial backing to be empowered to create the life you want. So, I really love bringing both together. So with that, what was the process like for you? How could you describe it for other people that might have no idea what to
Yeah.
expect or what they're getting into?
So I guess I would say like this, I didn't like the idea of having to do a lot of it, but I really liked the feeling of having done it.
Okay.
Just coming from where I was of such a masculine energy approach to business, to look at being vulnerable, talking with other people, other women business leaders, was daunting for me. And I really saw that even though I had this feminine energy, there was no place for it in business as far as I was concerned. And there was no place for vulnerability, which I quickly learned was not the case. But all of those things were very scary for me at first. And knowing that I would have to have real conversations and that we couldn't just float on the surface, that took some breakthrough time to get used to. And so I just can't even, when you said, how was life like before? It's like, whoa, I don't know if I want to go there and think about life, because gosh, I would have missed out on so much,
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It literally gives me
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we should just get into that. Like, what is life like
Yeah.
now? How do things change?
Well, I think I was thinking about one of the best sessions we had. It was a group session. And then I think I had a one-on-one with you afterwards. And one of the exercises was visualize like how you want to show up in the world, how you want to show up when you're with, your husband, your kids, how do you want to show up? And after our session, I remember driving home and kind of my normal, okay, now I've got to get home because I just spent this time doing coaching, but something made me stop. And I pulled over in my car and I just really thought about, how do I want to show up when I get home? I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to be going a million miles an hour. I want to show up and get home and be there for my family. So it got done, drove home, did not go on my phone, thought about how I wanted to walk into the house. And I saw my daughter bike towards me, riding her bicycle for the very first time. And she said, "Mommy, look at what I'm doing." And I just remember being so overwhelmed and saying, "I see you. Like, I see you." And I would have missed that. I would have
Oh
missed that,
God,
you
I
know?
literally just got tears because my daughter's just learning to ride her bike.
I mean, I would have missed that. How, because
Right?
I did. I missed, and I'm not holding on to, guilt is kind of BS in my book. And you can't, you when you know better, you do better. But it
Yeah.
was like a cloud was lifted, really.
Well, it's just, and I guess it impacted me not only because I understand that feeling of your daughter riding her bike for the first time, but also like it just thank you for sharing that because it makes me just feel even more strongly that I am meant to do this work in the world and it is the work I'm supposed to be doing. And it is through working with clients like you who, even though you might kick and scream a little at first, like you were open and willing and you did show up ready with an open heart and an open mind and you trusted me and you trusted the
Mhm.
process and you allowed the changes to kind of occur. So that is so much on you that like what if life wouldn't have changed and you would still be that stressed out, not having the same relationship. Who knows what would have happened with the relationship,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Who knows if it would have lasted? And now you've
Oh,
got your kids not, and
yeah. Not only that, but now my partner is in real estate. He practices real estate. I mean, so many of the things that we had talked about doing I'm actually doing. Like, we're remodeling our house right now. Like, we're looking at buying a lake house. Just things like he has his own truck. I got out of, I don't mind sharing. I mean, I was, I'd been doing this career for 15 years when we met, and I didn't look at numbers. I mean, I still had to catch up with IRS debt. Like, that is all done. I mean, just really full picture. Um, but no, my relationships got better at home. My relationship with my business partner is awesome. I mean, there was a time where I would not talk to my business partner as much because I would want to try and fix everything and not like share what I'm going through with her. And it got to the point where I was avoiding her calls and I didn't even realize that. I mean, now she's on vacation and I'm like, I want to call her to like talk about everything. And it's like, oh, I can't. I mean, I can't imagine not talking to her. And before, we just didn't have clear communication, even with assistants and things. I mean, it just everything really.
but it's learning how to access that part of yourself and you've got to allow yourself to do that. And
Right.
it's not easy to do on your own because you keep doing things the same way and you don't know a different way. You only know what you know, right? Like, but
Right.
I think that's where a coach comes in and guides you to create a new way of being. And it's impacted your business relationships, your personal relationships, your romantic relationships, relationships with your kids. That who knows if any of those relationships would have split. I mean, not the kids, but I mean like the business partner
Yeah.
or the romantic partner. And now you're enjoying them so much. And you even changed your relationship to money.
Right.
And
I have more time now. I'm as successful. In some ways, I'd say more, right? Because I can be home. I mean, I have some non-negotiables. I take a day off a week. I would have never done that before. I schedule vacations. I make my non-negotiables for my family and for, the things that I want to do in life, but I still can maintain a business. I can leverage where I didn't think I could before. I don't have to be in control of every aspect of everything, but I thought I had to, and you don't. You can trust people. And I think that was a big thing too. I just didn't have a lot of trust because I thought if I didn't do it, if I didn't help myself, I only have myself to blame, right? Like, I kept thinking there's something wrong with me. Everyone else can do this. Why can't I do it? I'm a successful person, but yeah, it's okay to need help.
I see that with the strong women I work with or even potentially work with because they feel like they should do it on their own and they shouldn't need a coach. What would you say to a woman that is saying that? Like, why can't I think I could just do it on my own, or why wouldn't you just do it on your own?
I think it's with, when it comes to this type of subject matter, it's, if you had something wrong, you would go see, if I had a rash on my arm, I would go see a doctor, I'd get salve. Why don't we see that when we have something internally that can kickstart us? I think it's just getting out of our own heads for the most part, and just knowing that there's other people to lift you up, and just changing the mindset on it.
I think that's it though. I think that people think they can just that there's nothing wrong with them, which there's nothing wrong. There is nothing
No,
wrong. There's
no,
nothing wrong with you or me or any of us. But there is something wrong in like life. If life doesn't feel like it's amazing, then there's something wrong.
there's something wrong.
Like
Yeah.
life should feel like I'm embracing it
Yeah.
and I'm grateful, and it's pretty awesome. And honestly, it should. So some of you out there that are watching this are going, whatever, doesn't have to feel awesome
Right.
all the time. I kind of
No. Yeah.
I think it can feel awesome all the time. Even when you have pain, even when you have grief, even when you have sadness, you still can feel like this is so awesome. Like I'm
Right.
so grateful for where I'm at.
And I would do things like, well, when this happens, it'll be better. But when I get there, then it'll be okay. And
Yes.
life isn't easier. Life is still life, but I'm happy with my life. It's not easier. It's still life, but I'm happy living my life. And I wasn't happy. And that can make all the difference as far as I'm concerned. When I get up, like, awesome, it's another day. Let's do it.
I've had clients tell me that actually again and again. One client recently said, you really shouldn't call yourself just a business coach or a life coach or transformation coach. She said, you're a happiness coach.
I like that. That's
And
awesome.
I think that is awesome. And I think that means a lot to me to hear from you being happier
Mhm.
and others that this is why can't we redefine success?
Mhm.
The success is like the ultimate level of happiness. Like
Mhm.
I'm successful when I've reached this level. And there's nothing wrong with any of us, but don't we all want to get the most out of life and live even better and
Right.
find even more healing and even more love and joy and success?
Right. It's interesting how your environment changes as well, and who you attract. That, I mean, you're constantly teaching people how to treat you and you don't even realize it. But when
Yeah.
you
As I say,
understand that, I mean, no, we froze a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're back. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, tell us a little about that. That's really powerful.
Yeah. I mean, I'll use my home example too. I had a great supportive partner, but at that time, I was giving him gratitude for keeping me kind of on the hamster wheel. And so he was just like, this is what you need. This is how I'm going to support you. And I would live that with other people. I would say things like, I mean, I could never be home with the kids. Well, inside it was killing me not to have the time with the kids, but I would teach people that that's what I want you. I want you to treat me like I'm not a mom, in the business world. And I want you to treat me a certain way. And it was just like, well, people don't know then, so my partner would be doing things like getting my food to go and getting laundry done. And I know those things sound really great, like great, someone to do those things, but I lost connection with things. Like I lost connection with how to even function in my own kitchen. And, I started to not even know what my kids liked. And people treated me kind of like a work machine because that's what I was teaching them I wanted them to do.
Yeah, I think that's so such something we do so subconsciously. Like we don't even realize that we treat everyone around us how to treat us with our
Yeah.
action. And how do you shift that? How do you just shift that on your own because you decide? And that's where I think it really takes like support and practice, and that courageousness in being vulnerable and admitting
Mhm.
that this isn't working for me and I want something different.
Right.
So could you share, was there anything about the time we were together that either was a favorite part or something that surprised you? Maybe it's the same thing.
Yeah. What surprised me, and it sounds so foreign to me to say this now, is that in some of our group sessions and some of the retreats that I was able to that I chose to be in, right? I chose to, working with other people and hearing about their successes in their business. I really thought I was kind of a flying solo type person. I'm an independent contractor and I kind of do what I do. And that surprised me how much I love the collaboration and the working in groups. And now I find myself in that position of wanting to mentor and guide other new agents. And, I'm always having people shadow me. I've done mentoring this year. I mean, I had kind of tunnel vision. I would not have thought that way before. I mean, I had a lot of knowledge, but I wasn't as sharing. And there's some power in sharing that I was surprised how much I liked it. Yeah.
In giving and showing up as a
Right.
go-giver, showing up with that abundance mindset.
Right.
But when you're caught up, I just got to get ahead and I got to make it work, and everything's desperation, like you're not in a space of being able to give, and then you're receiving less.
Right.
Yeah, that's
The,
awesome.
yeah. The other thing that really surprised me that I didn't know until we worked through it is that I had a hang up with, my finances, which I just thought, I'm just not a numbers person. I just don't look at my numbers. That's just me. It was deeper than that. It was my, relationship with money, how I viewed it, how I viewed its purpose. A lot of my preconceived notions from, growing up of how I viewed money, and that, it didn't come from a place of abundance. I came from a place of scarcity and always saying like, I don't have the means to do that. I don't. And so I was putting out these self-limiting beliefs all the time, but also thinking I can't, that's not for me. I just have to go here and then that's fine. Rather than realizing there's abundance for more than that. And there's abundance for everyone,
I actually see some of the people I work with, many with that have a great amount of wealth or success or money, that still get caught in the worst of scarcity modes of feeling competition, feeling like they can't afford what they really want in their lives, feeling like they can't give themselves what they want when actually they can totally afford it. But they feel like that's too much for me, or
Right.
that, what if it's be gone? So I
Right.
think that's such a huge, powerful point to bring up, because I think people don't know their own blocks and barriers. You don't know when you're caught up in a mindset that's not serving you.
Right. Yeah, that was a big thing. Mhm.
So you've achieved so much since working together, and even afterwards. I love that you're looking for a lake house now. You've got all the debts paid off. I mean,
Yeah.
a great relation, business partner with your own romantic partner. Is there any last thing that you would want anyone to know about working with us in the Transformation Terra business, coaching business, or being a
Yeah.
part of the mastermind? You want people to know.
I think you touched on it. It's okay to ask for help. Again, I don't like to live from a place of regret, right? But I mean, there's a part of me that thinks, what if someone would have told me about coaching earlier? What if I would have known about this? What if I would have just gotten over my own, ignorance about what coaching was? I mean, really, and just took a chance earlier. I mean, I think everyone has to be on the path that they're on, but you're not going to come out of it on the other end worse. There's only going to be opening and, enlightenment and change. Change in and of itself, I believe, is good. And you really don't have anything to lose.
Yeah. When you invest in yourself, you end up your whole life changes. And certainly this is a perfect example of how there is a financial return, even though whether you're working on a business or you're not working on a business, it's because everything in life starts to shift. But more than that, there's just a return in all aspects of life. So, I mean, I get excited about it too. So, well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Anyone, it was truly an honor to be a part of your journey and serve you in this way. And you did always show up with trust and open mind, even when you're skeptical. And I just always valued our relationship. So anyone watching, if you are interested in just taking a next step, I'm doing actually a free masterclass. So there's no nothing for you to lose except 1 hour of your time, which will be worth it. So go to jointerra.live. That's JOIN Terra, TARA.LIVE, jointerra.live. And you can register for our next masterclass. And I will see you there. We'll have time to be interactive and connect as well. And Sarah Jo, just again, thank you so much for your time today and your go-giver mentality of being generosity and sharing your time and your journey with everyone watching.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tara.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.